So, some of the things that I think should be free here in the United States and globally should be being born. There should be no cost, being laid to rest, education, healthcare, water, and even air, especially if you're paying taxes. But allow me to remind some of you that under the previous administration, student loans were being forgiven. Co-pays and prescription costs were cut. Healthcare was being expanded to those who need it. Affordable housing and livable wages were on the table. Trade schools and job assistance, food costs were being reviewed and hopefully being reduced. And more subsidies were being made available and proposed to be continued to be implemented under a Harris administration. But some of you folks wanted a king. Some of y'all wanted a dictator for a day. Yeah, all right, I know. That's no way to start off a show. So I'll start over and I'll be right back. Well, hello, and welcome to In Your Ear Radio. I am your host, Latoya. Always, it's my pleasure to be present with you today on this beautiful Saturday. I think it's like 73 degrees. This is my kind of weather. I love fall weather. You can kind of, if you want to rock an open toe, you can, or you can throw on a pair of boots, a light jacket. As y'all see, I got my blazer on right now, trying to be looking professional and sophisticated for y'all. But it's lovely. So wherever you are today, I hope the weather is fine as well. If not, I hope you're staying safe and taking your vitamins and not catching anything out there. But so I'm happy. As I always say, your presence is my presence. So thank you for joining me live on Facebook and YouTube. Appreciate it. I'll start off by just giving a shout out to anybody who's celebrating a birthday, because y'all know it's still Libra season, right? It is still Libra season, and we're gonna represent. Okay. Some fun fact, there's a lot of good people that are Libras out here. So I need to shout them out as well. If you guys don't know, some of the famous Libras, we have a famous champion tennis player, Naomi Osaka. You have Serena Williams, Kim Kardashian, Cardi B, AOC, representative in the House, Will Smith, actor, yeah. Childish Gambino, also known as Donald Glover, however you want to say it, which way or the other. Eminem, Gwen Stefani, I like her. I like the way she do that little move. She got some old songs I used to like. What was it? Don't Speak, one of my favorite songs by her, Gwen Stefani. Joy Behar, that's my girl. What is she, like 82, 83? Looking young. From The View, she's a Libra. And Judge Judy, that's what's up. When I think about people who are Libras and then I compare them to my personality, I think we have some of the same types of personalities per se. Not all of us, but you think about people who are judges, you think about, just their occupations, or you think about their talents, you think about the way they look at the world and just how they treat other people. And I can kind of see myself in some of the characteristics in some of these people. Now, Eminem was talking about doing some crazy stuff to his mom. Never crossed my mind. But what I'm saying? In general, Libras have a certain type of personality that, I could appreciate, and I could, really appreciate that. While you guys are hopping into Facebook and YouTube, let me go ahead and share this video to my group. Let me do that now so I don't forget. For those who may want to watch it. Let me go ahead and do that in your ear radio. And I have shared it. Okay. So we got a great show for you today. We're going to have a guest on. We're going to have a scholarship doctor. Her name is Dr. Rhea. She calls herself Rhea too, and I'm very excited to talk to her and learn more about what she does and what she's offering to the community here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we'll get into that. But before we do that, I just wanted to share my condolences to the family of D'Angelo. If you guys don't know, a famous artist, one of the, I would say, the king of the neo soul era, debuted back in, what was it, 1995, with some of the greatest hits we still enjoy today, which we'll consider those classics. He passed away October 14th, at the age of 51 due to pancreatic cancer. You guys, leaves behind a daughter, which I didn't know he had a daughter, but I think he has three children. I don't know if the third is a son or daughter, but I know he also has a son with the late Angie Stone, who passed earlier this year as well. Yeah, so my condolences, my condolences. He started at the age of 17. He got his first record deal, started working on his debut album that came out in 1995, Brown Sugar. That was, again, released in 1995. He was the son of a Pentecostal preacher, if you may not know. And he got his big break when he co-produced in 1994, the single "You Will Know." If you guys go back and listen to those lyrics, he wrote those lyrics that were sung by Black Men United, which included music collectives of who are these R&B powerhouses? Boys and Men, Usher, I'll Be Sure, R. Kelly, Lenny Kravitz, and I think there was many, many more. So I encourage you guys to go back and just read those lyrics if you just want to know how talented he was as a writer as well. He played instruments. I learned that he started playing the piano at the age of 5, and his family didn't even realize it. So that was awesome. And just all around, just a very just I think just a musical person, very talented. You hear a lot of people say a lot of good things about him as a person and just about his talent, and that's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So yeah, I just want to think. Just remember him. I was reading an article that he that was quoting him. That was back when 10 years ago, at the age of 41. He was just talking about his music career. Because, you guys, there was a lot of gaps in between time, and people mentioned the fact that he dealt, about with depression and maybe with drugs, some alcohol, which may have attributed to pancreatic cancer, because that is one of the things that may cause pancreatic cancer, excessive alcohol drinking. But one of the quotes he was quoted as saying in an article that was written back 10 years ago, he says, "I want to do what Yahweh, God, is leading me to do." He said, "I don't know fully what that is. No, I don't." He went on to say, "I'm trying to keep myself open, my heart open to receive and to know what that is. But I do want to put a lot of music out there. I feel like in a lot of respects that I'm just getting started." So yeah, that's what's up. And it's just crazy because he wasn't trending so much before he passed. Only during the time, I would say, recently, with the death of his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his son, Angie Stone. But prior to that, you didn't hear a lot of famous people come out and speak out on his behalf and talk about all of the great things and the great ways in which he contributed to society. But now that he's gone, you hear that. And I just hope that he had an opportunity to hear that from a lot more people before he passed away. Some of the other people that were included in the group, Tevin Campbell, and Gerald Levert in the song "You Will Know," the Black Men United. Yeah, so I just want to encourage people that if you love someone, you love what they do, you respect what they do, what they contribute to your life or to the world, let them know now. Let them hear that. If it's a public post, if it's a private conversation, a text, whatever, just say it so people know, because you don't know how far that may help to carry them, or just to know that, because when we're gone, who knows what we can actually hear. So yeah, but I just want to just tell you guys that pancreatic cancer, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So considering that, cancer is still, overall cancer in general is the second leading cause of deaths globally, here in the United States and globally. And pancreatic cancer ranks in that list. I want to say it may be in the top 10. I'm not quite sure. It affects men and women, I would say, equally. One of the crazy things about pancreatic cancer is by the time you're pretty much far along in your stages before you get any symptoms. And that's why sometimes it's considered to be one of the most deadliest cancers, because you don't start getting those symptoms until yeah, you're in maybe stage 3 or 4 of pancreatic cancer. And some of those symptoms of jaundice, like the yellowing of the eyes and skin, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, being tired all the time, especially men, changes in your digestion. You might get a lot of nausea or vomiting, changes in your stool color. That's something that's important to look at just in general every day. And it could create it could cause you to have diabetes and complications associated with pancreatic cancer can cause you to develop diabetes and itchy skin. Those are some of the symptoms. And then again, I mentioned some of the causes, alcohol consumption, heavy alcohol consumption, chronic and hereditary pancreatitis. So if that pancreatitis, am I saying that right? Pancreatitis. If it runs in your family, it's good to get checked early, get some tests done. Your weight, being overweight, obesity, your diet, again, processed meats, fried food, sugar, high cholesterol, some of the same things that cause other ailments in our bodies that can also help to bring on pancreatic cancer. Men are slightly more likely to develop pancreatic cancer than women. It said that in workplace exposure, chemicals, being exposed to chemicals, metal co-working, pesticides, things like that could be a factor. Your age, most people will develop it after the age of 65. I've known many people who have succumbed to this disease in their 50s, and some who have lived. Again, diabetes, if you've already got it, type 1 or 2, if you have a pre-existing condition, that doesn't help. Your race, unfortunately, in the United States, guess who is more likely disproportionately to have pancreatic cancer? Ding, 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 ding. Black people, of course. And again, family history, and then there's infection. So if you have some certain types of infections that you're living with, that could also bring about it. I don't know if it's important to get checked periodically, but if you're having some of those symptoms, that is a reason to go and see your doctor and, mention that to be tested as well. And God forbid that is the issue. But some people who have died from pancreatic cancer, Aretha Franklin, Steve Jobs, if you guys don't remember who he was the CEO of Apple. Alex Trebek, that was our guy from Jeopardy. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, remember him? Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was 79 years old when she succumbed to pancreatic cancer. She was our Supreme Court justice. And then there was also a notable person, Patrick Swayze, and I just like him because he has one of my favorite songs that my sweetie and I share, which is She's Like the Wind. Is that the same name of the song? She's Like the Wind. But anyway, Dirty Dancing. The song is from Dirty Dancing, so I just wanted to mention that. Also, shout out to those who are out protesting the No Kings demonstration. They say all over in 50 states, more than 2,500 events. I know there's at least 5 here in Nevada as late as 4 p.m. today. People are just out protesting against some of y'all, current administration's policies. They are, speaking out against, they're protesting against the ICE raids, the troop deployments to different urban cities. The furloughs, the people not having jobs, where Republicans are, they went home and they're not trying to negotiate to get people back into work. They're getting paid. They're getting time off with pay, while some people are working without pay and are being fired from their jobs. So people are out in the streets, and they've been doing this. They did it before and they're doing it again. So it is an annual event. And my thing is, what is the intended outcome? What is the intended outcome? Because we do need protests. We do need the people, society, to know who the masses don't agree with this, but what's next? What do we do next? Even in Toronto, they're protesting. In Canada, the demonstrations are calling that the No Tyrants. So it's happening. And it's so unfortunate that we're having this experience and what we're going through. But would like to know what the outcome will be. I know I did hear a wise man suggested these things, the No Kings protest, maybe should be done on voting day. I know there's voting coming up November 4th in some states, and just any time it's a voting date, just to bring much attention to how important that vote is and how voting strategically is what's going to benefit us, to get back on track and have, the things that we're demanding that we're not getting from the current administration. So yeah, it's No Kings Day out here. Who's out there protesting? Okay, yeah. And what's your favorite song from D'Angelo? Let me know. Lady, I think is mine. Nothing Even Matters. That's with Lauryn Hill. Yeah. I rocks with D'Angelo. I rocks with him. And just some quick information before we bring on our guest, which I'm very excited to meet and speak with, and just hear her share some information in regards to getting what do we call this? Scholarships, getting scholarships, helping people apply for scholarships And so, yes, I'm looking forward to speaking with her. But I also want to mention that Home Depot is offering a Path to Pro program, is what they're calling it, and which basically they're offering free trade education, so that at some point you're certified and you're put on their website or whatever profile they have, so where people who are looking for construction workers can go to this website and see that you're certified and hire you. So I guess they're kind of falling back from the parking lot pickup. So, some people can pull up at the parking lot and get work. This is something where it's free, and you can be a skilled worker in the construction trade. So there's a host of different things you can learn. It's virtual. It's on demand, so it's self-paced. And then again, you can go to pathtopro.com to find, get more information about it. You only have to be 18 years of age. And again, once you completed it, then you build a profile and people know where to go to look for you for work. So yeah, they teach these programs in English and Spanish. So I encourage you guys to look into that. Okay. So let's get into it. I want to get into it and bring on our guest. And I'll just tell you a little bit about her before I bring it on, and she can chime in and correct me if I get any of this wrong. But I think I did pretty good with outlining some of her history and her talent. So let me just go ahead and read for that. But who we're bringing on today, her name is Dr. Rhea Watson. She's known as the Scholarship Doctor and the CEO of Scholarship Solutions Incorporated. She's an author, and I'll also add that she is an education and financial freedom activist, because that's what I learned from reading about her. She is a first generation college graduate whose parents instilled in her the importance of education at a young age, and spearheaded her to getting access to scholarship funding in the sixth grade by enrolling her in the Upward Bound program. Eventually, she went on to earn 5 full ride scholarships and financial packages, which enabled her to attend Morris Brown College, and being noted as having had one of the largest financial packages awarded to attend that institution. 2 weeks after graduating, she launched her first business, Ebony Branches, which was inspired by her parents, who were running a nonprofit to fund STEM programming for the youth. But she noticed that their charitable and nonprofit work was not, helping to make their ends meet. So through her mentorship under Dr. Jeannie Marsh Stahl, who also taught nonprofit groups how to acquire grants, she went on to establish Scholarship Solutions Incorporated, with having her first success as winning a $25,000 scholarship for 2 young girls who also had the opportunity to attend Morris Brown College under the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Grant. She has been featured in Forbes magazine and many local Nevada magazines, as well as local Channel 8 News broadcast TV station here in Las Vegas. She coaches enthusiasts from the ages of 1 to 99, with her youngest mentee being just 6 months old, and has helped students earn over $95 million in scholarships as of 2021, with her average scholarship award being $250,000 per scholar. So let's bring her on, and I gotta get my clap in. Hello there, lady. Let me get my clap for you.
I love it.
Hi, how are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
I'm well. I'm a little warm today because I decided to turn off the air conditioner because it's 73 degrees, but the house don't fit. It say 80 in the house. So yeah, just a little warm.
It's beautiful out there. I just left my brother's keeper, where there were hundreds of amazing young men being empowered from our community, our Las Vegas community. So yeah, it was so beautiful. I had the windows down and the thing, what's the thing, the skylight or whatever.
Yeah, the sunroof.
Sunroof.
I love a sunroof. So you went to the My Brother's Keeper event today?
I did. And it was my first time, but absolutely just blown away. about from the mentors to the parents to, of course, again, those amazing young men who were all there to learn and laugh
That's awesome.
and get leadership. It was awesome. It was great. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't hear about it, but I'm glad it was a good turnout and obviously inspirational. So I'll have to keep my ears to that and make sure I can show up next time. So that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. I was reading your bio, and some of the things I had some questions for was I know
Yeah.
you said your parents had a nonprofit called STEM. What exactly is STEM?
So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And my parents' nonprofit was actually called Yes, which
Okay.
is yes to a youngster's future. That's not right. Because like that does not say yes. But anyway, that's what it was called, was yes to a youngster's future.
Okay.
But I thought yes was an acronym, but I might be. It was a very very long time ago. But yes, it was called Yes to a Youngster's Future. And my parents brought that to the Valley. There was a group that was doing some things in the DC area.
Mhm.
My parents were totally committed to STEM, probably really the first people to kind of do that ever, at least
Yeah.
in the Valley. And it was such a wonderful program because it was all centered around science and mathematics. Everything was gratuitous. There was no charge to any of the attendees. But again, I graduated college in '97, so that's when they were doing this program, and so computers were big, but laptops didn't really
It was
exist.
huge and heavy, right?
Yeah, they were the big desktops, but they were training students in computer technology. They were able to employ people, which was so amazing. So our great educators here in the Valley could come and do that on Saturdays and in the evening, and so they were able to. Have this additional income at a really, really, really great price point,
Okay.
and so many students that were helped, and again had that free tutoring as a resource, learning about STEM activities. They were able to get in. It was right in the heart of 89106, which is the historic West
Oh,
Side for Las Vegas. The majority of African American families, definitely at a time, lived in West Las Vegas. For those of you who also don't know, and now it's called historic West Las Vegas. But it was right there in the heart on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, right there on MLK Drive, and students would walk there. They could get that mentorship, and we love it. Even almost, which is unbelievable to me, almost 30 years later, students who will come and see my parents, and my dad's been passed, but they'll see my mom and just have over the years thank them for their seed into their lives. It's
okay.
been a blessing. So anyway, but STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And then we have STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, agriculture, and
Okay.
math. And then we always say, or art, some people do say, and reading.
Yeah.
A stream as well. But we like for students to think smart: science, math, again, and research technology, agriculture, and research technology. So when you think smart, you can go to college for free, for sure.
That's awesome. Awesome. I didn't realize that they had planted those roots here in the
Yes.
89106. Like,
Right.
that's dope. I love that. I love that. So are those
Yeah.
programs still in effect?
No.
No. Yeah. Well, somebody's gonna hear that and pick it up.
But there's lots of people who have that took on, kind of took the
Yeah.
man, they took that flashlight, they took that torch and ran with
Yeah.
it.
That's right.
Again, my parents were not being compensated in any way for
Yeah.
this, and they were coming from work and would be doing this every evening, every weekend, and just giving and pouring and just blessing people, but never received a dime. They were told, because you have a nonprofit, you can't. And I just kept asking, well, how can everybody else get paid? But you can't. It just didn't make sense to me. Of course, now we know that was completely untrue. But, my whole goal was to make sure that there wasn't another family who was so dedicated to their community, so dedicated to doing things to make sure that, others' lives were changed, that I said, I'm going to be that person that educates. I always say, I know it's not proper English or grammar, but I'm on the business of educating, re-educating, uneducating people.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
understand.
Educated, right?
So that's how I started my business, and was really really committed to that. And so we've helped a lot of startup nonprofits to know what their rights are, their responsibilities, but to absolutely understand what's available to them, and then
Yeah.
that wonderful work is transferred over to doing that with individuals. So we're doing both.
Very, very awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And Upward Bound, I remember that as well, but I can't remember exactly what it
Yeah.
entailed. Can you just give us a little bit of? information
So
on Upward Bound?
of course, it's a wonderful program. National for sure, probably international, but it's definitely a national program. It falls under the auspice of what's called TRIO.
Okay.
Again, TRIO is an acronym, and TRIO has a many different divisions that support students in pre-college and post-college programs. So it's something you start in sixth grade, like my sister and I did. We started in Gear Up. Again, Gear Up is another acronym that stands for something, but
Yeah.
Gear Up allows students to get that exposure to college, to trade, to even employment at an
Okay.
early age. And then Upward Bound is the high school division of that. And Gear Up even has a high school leg now as well. But Upward Bound is the high school division. And Upward Bound is a really special program because it's where students go to school on Saturdays. And so
Hmm.
they can go to school on Saturdays as well as get support in many of our schools and our communities, our universities and colleges. But what's so good about that is that they're housed on college campuses. So
Yes,
students
I
are getting
remember that.
early exposure to college university, understanding how that works. And then during the summer, you can take college classes. You
Hmm.
can stay on campus for a certain amount of time. So all of that is giving what we like to say the triple E: education, experience, and exposure. And so when students are getting that, they can really be sure, I want to be college bound. I am interested in maybe going and getting a job. I think that I want to start this type of tech career or vocation. So that gives them that opportunity, and everything is free of charge. It's all supported through our
Yes,
tax dollars. So there's students who are getting all of this information, all of this exposure, and then they are turning into the Dr. Rheas of the world because someone took the time to work on a Saturday. Someone took the time to come into a
yes,
school and show them what was possible on the collegiate level. And since I and my sister both were true first generation college students, we needed that. But our parents always saw the power in education. They
yes,
always saw the power in mentorship. They saw the power of partnering and saying, we don't have to have it all. And
yeah,
I try to instill that into parents and to families. You don't have to know it all, have it all, be it all.
that's
All
right.
you need to do is be that person to your child. And if that means that you can bring someone else in, if you can have
Yes,
them be part of a program, again, something like was today, where I know there were parents who said, I may not have this person in my life, but I'm going to bring my son to this so
yes,
that he can have this person, even if it's for an hour, 30 minutes, or what have you. And my parents, they were just the most talented people at understanding resources and understanding, again, we may not know it, have it, or be it, but there is someone who does, and we're going to
yes.
make sure our girls are exposed to that. Yeah.
Yes, that's listen, your parents are great. You know,
I
I salute
really-
them for, helping to cultivate your skills, and you're passing it on because if you guys don't know, this is the aunts. The young man that Justin Beaumont's aunt, who his first book was at 3 years old. He wrote his first book, inspired by this lady right here that I'm speaking with right now. So they just come from inspiration, entrepreneurship, education.
Yeah.
Just they come from it, and it's just beautiful and great. So yeah, that's what it takes. Though it takes for someone in the house to know, and education is the key. Because I know there's a lot of parents that would like to move their kids ahead, even if they don't. They didn't have that same experience as you said with your parents. You guys were the first, your sister and yourself, first generation college students. But they knew that it was possible, and so
Yeah.
they moved you in that direction. So I just wanted to make mention of those resources because Upper
Mhm.
Bound's still out here, right? It's still available.
Absolutely. Actually,
Federally accredited?
every college campus, well, I shouldn't say
Uh-huh.
every, but Nevada State University has an Upward Bound program. University of Nevada, Vegas, aka UNLV, has an Upward Bound program. CSN, College of Southern Nevada, has an Upward Bound program. Upstate in Reno. So yes, it is, and again, it is anywhere in the nation. If you call up, especially a major college or university, and say, "Where's Upward Bound?" They're there. But we
Okay.
have them at these smaller institutions and our JUCOs, aka again community college. Some people may know it as junior colleges. They are there
Yeah.
working to make sure that students have these experiences. And Upward Bound again has changed, so you can have these pre-college programs that
Mhm.
are in your actual high schools. So they don't even have to go anymore. We were bused or traveled or however we got to
Yeah.
UNLV. Again, I'm from Las Vegas, so that was my experience. But they have so many things that are in-house. So even that barrier of transportation has been cut out
That's good.
because you can go right to a classroom right to an office on many high school campuses now and get these same types of programs. And it's not just limited. This one is sponsored by the government, but there's things like Dell Scholars, like as in the Dell computers. They have a pre-college program that's associated with a huge scholarship, about $30,000. So when you're a Dell Scholar, then you're eligible for their scholarship. But all of this support, all of these things, there's again the Bezos scholarships. Yes, as in Mr. Amazon. So those are programs. So if you're anywhere in your community and saying, how do I get my child, even if you're in an urban community or suburban community or rural area, how do I get my child involved with this? That is a quick Google or Chat GPT. Pre-college programs are the name of it. And I would just put probably free in front of it, free pre-college programs, and you will see a litany of different places that your student, your child can get that information, get that help, get that support. And it's no money out of your pocket. It's just maybe a little bit of time to make sure that they get there, or making sure that those resources, if they're in their high school, that again, that your child gets there.
And then I also like the fact that, like you said, it's time, but for those who don't have time, we have a resource here, right here on In Your Ear Radio. They can, we're going to get into that, and you can tell us more about the resources that you're providing, and then the program we have coming this Saturday, the following Saturday. But I want to get in the chat real quick. Shout out to GB. He said he's loving your energy, dope energy, no opioid, baby.
Thank you.
Yes. And Shanta Jackson, who's also on YouTube, she says, great advice. You don't have to know it all. Who does know it all, right? Yeah, you don't have to. You just have to know that somebody else knows, right? Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yes, ask those questions.
Yes. I know you said you start with I was reading the article in Forbes magazine, 6 months old. Really? What? That baby was drinking milk. And what was you doing? What was y'all doing with this baby at 6 months?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do 0 to 99, womb to tomb, birth to death, cradle to college. So we try to make sure it's all covered so people know, as long as you're outside of the womb, we have not found scholarships for womb babies yet. Okay. But if you are outside the womb and outside the tomb, again, I haven't found any scholarships for anybody in the tomb yet. But if you are outside of the womb and outside the tomb, there are free dollars for you. And just to get rid of all of the myths and all of the misinformation, you do not have to be a United States citizen. You do not have to live in America. You do not have to make a certain amount of money. You do not have to be a certain age or educational level. In fact, you can win scholarships and not be a student and not be interested in going to school. There is free money for you. Now, it is work. It takes time, energy, and effort, but there are dollars available. And so, yes, our youngest client, actually, that was that magazine I had. My youngest client was 6 months. He's actually 4 years old now.
5 years old now. Yeah, that's all. That baby, what's that baby doing now? Running what corporation? What? You know?
But our youngest client who applied for a scholarship is 4 months old. To win a scholarship is 2 years old. And he is and happens to be my incredible nephew, who is 10. And he's won $100,000 in college scholarships, grants, and prizes. And so just this week, actually, Justin applied for 2 scholarships. I have a 7-year-old in my program texting mommy, making sure that she's applying for her scholarships. So it is never, ever too early, we say, with Scholarship Solutions, but it's never, ever too late. So if you have a high school senior, I was at again this event, and she's like, I'm a college senior. Is it too late? Absolutely not. In fact, people don't know that the largest scholarship year of any year is junior year of college. So people are like, wait, you work with college students? Absolutely. In fact, the industry supports juniors in college even more than graduating high school seniors. So again, it's never, ever too early. It's never too late to, we say, look for, apply for, and win scholarships.
So when you get these scholarships, for example, with your nephew being 10 years old, he's not yet going, probably won't go to college till next year, you know, for his track record.
That's 6 months,
6 months, maybe, you know. Are they holding that money? Like, does that money just sit somewhere until he's ready to actually enter into the college institution?
Great question. Oh, I love this question, and I appreciate it so much. So actually, the way it works for the majority of scholarships, if a student, we call them scholars, if a scholar is junior year and below, so that is, again, from birth, because it have to be at birth. We have found them for birth. So from birth, got to be outside the womb. From birth.
Be outside.
Right, outside. They haven't found it for inside yet. But from birth until junior year, the majority of the scholarships are what we call cash awards. So what that means is that the money comes to the students. So again, for example, my 10-year-old nephew has been receiving W-9s since he was about 4 years old. So he gets a W-9, has to report that income from the scholarships that he's won. So they are cash awards. And then I'll share with you what my brother-in-law and what my sister do in regard to Justin's money. But that in the majority of my students who are younger, and I have some who started with me in third grade, and this year they actually started college, and it's amazing, right? So I'll share some of that. But that's the majority. So it's so wonderful, again, if students and families can start early because they have the decision to do with their monies, with their earnings, what they want to do. Now, once a student turns a senior, and probably even maybe it's like 50-50 junior year, but once they are a senior for sure, about 95% of the dollars that they earn go to the college and only 5% go to the student. But it is the absolute opposite on the 10th grade for sure. I would say junior year is split 50-50, but from 10th grade and below, 100%, that 95% of the students, of the dollars, if not more, go to the student, while that 5% is something that's held. So it is very advantageous for families to start their scholarship process early. I have started again with 5 families who were with child, and that's when they started their college planning. So we put everything together while baby was still in the womb waiting to come out, and then they were eligible. They were eligible after birth, but we started that process. And so how that, again, this should not be novel, right? I'm working always. I have a book that where I was allowed to be a chapter in this wonderful book among educators. And my chapter was preparing for college and kindergarten. She said, Rhea, no one is ready for you to say preparing for college at birth, but I will let you write about doing that in kindergarten. But again, that should not be novel. It shouldn't be something that people are hearing the first time from me, that your kindergartner cannot just be applying, and shouldn't be. It should be looking, applying, and winning scholarships. And it is very, very, very available. It is free money. I have some scholarships I'm definitely going to share with our audience today to let you all know you can start your process today. You don't have to wait, but it's never ever too early. It's never too late. So I don't want people to feel guilty like, oh my gosh, I didn't do this. But really, my whole job, my prayer is not only that I will help 1 million scholars, again, we call them scholars, aka students, that 1 million scholars can say I have a free degree because of Dr. Rhea. So that is what I'm always on. So somebody saying, can I get on your podcast? You can, because I want you to be a part of my million. Can you go do a talk? I can. Can you do a vending? I can, because I want 1 million scholars to say I have a free degree because of Rhea. But that is, again, where and when do you start your scholarship process? Right now. And we build that lineage, that legacy, and I really believe wealth building should be happening from.
Yes, and knowledge isn't any good unless you share it, right? It's not fruitful. It doesn't activate unless you share it. What's the point of knowing it if you're not sharing it? So that's a beautiful thing. And I like. So what I'm hearing from that is you can actually get scholarships now and maybe pay down some student loan that you may have.
Absolutely, that's what I did. I was a first-generation college student. I actually earned my first scholarship at age 15. I was a 10th grader. I entered the Miss Black Teenage Nevada pageant.
I love it.
And with that, there was money. And I was like, Mommy, there's a scholarship. She was not into the pageant thing.
Really?
She was okay because it was money and it was educational and there was no swimsuit. And, you got to do a talent and you had to say your question. And she was like, okay, I will do this with you. Even though we didn't have any money for the fees, so I went and raised the money to pay for my fees and my pictures. But she was like, I'm here to support, even though she was not into the pageant world at all. But that's what I won my first amount of money as first runner-up in this Black Teenage Nevada pageant. And then every single weekend from junior year, basically till I walked to my alma mater, we applied for scholarships at the West Las Vegas Library. So Mama and I would go every weekend, get the reference desk. Again, there's no computers, there's no internet. I'm sure I think the government and the military were using it, but Me from 89106, we were not.
Right.
And so we had our reference books, and I would write down every single scholarship. My mom would find one, she'd write it down. And we applied and applied and applied. And as you read, I also earned 5 full ride offers. I was valedictorian
Yes.
at high
Making
school.
history, right? That was a
Mhm.
record.
It was amazing. And I was I'm a true Vegas girl. So I was literally out of my class in 1992. And my friends, I was the only person who went to college. And they were making fun of me because I was coming home from Christmas break and they were coming from the strip and had purchased their first homes and, were making 80 plus $1,000. And again, in 1992.
Yeah.
And I was, going through this college process. Now, of course, they're all doing that in their 40s and 50s, right? But that was my life. And
Yeah.
no one understood, why are you going to college? I mean, this was not it was not a thing that happened
Yeah.
among my friend group, my family group, my church group, my neighborhood. I was it. But my mom and again, dad understood the power. I really didn't have a choice. It wasn't like you get to go to college, or it was just like, which of these colleges are you going to? My sister and I didn't have an option in that way. But even with that, again, I was true first gen. So they did not know. My parents didn't know. No one told me something different. I had a dream school. I went to my dream school, and though they gave me a ton of money, they did not give me a full ride offer. And so I came in with my $30,000 in scholarships, huge amount of money, thought I was good to go. And then I wanted to transfer. And that's when they said, "Oh, you can transfer, but you owe us this much money." And I was like, "How do I owe you money? I had scholarships. I got the largest financial package there was." And they were like, "Oh, yeah. All of that is true." But it included loans. See where you signed right here? I had no idea that I had signed myself to student loan debt. No clue.
So you got to read the fine print, basically, right?
Had no idea. And my parents told me to do it. I'm just, they were excited. Again, I'm the first person out of all the grandkids, out of everyone, to go to college in my family. My dad didn't even graduate high school, and he's one of 11. It probably maybe one or two of his brothers and sisters did the same. So I had nothing to go from or for. Thank God again for my programs that I were a part of. But even with that, they were teaching us to go to college, but they weren't sharing with us about student loans. They weren't sharing with us about scholarships. Like, that was just, my mom knew, if you want to go to college, which you do, we have to have some money outside of your dad's Nevada test rate income. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. So we had one income, and that was not going to cut it for me to go to school. But there were so many things that I didn't know, so many things that I didn't understand. And I teach all of that now. So people are so aware. So my whole thing is, first of all, you don't have to wait to even 10th grade or 11th grade. You could do this wherever your child is or wherever you are right now. But, additional to this, when they're saying you have a financial aid package, it is 100% guaranteed there are loans in that package. And if you want to avoid that, you want to do anything and everything that you can, include starting now on the scholarship process. Yeah. So I was totally green. I had no idea. Again, no one told me you don't transfer colleges. No one told me. I even asked my mom probably about a year ago, said, "Mommy, why did you tell me to take these full ride offers?" She was like,
"No, right?
You wanted to go to this school and you got in, and it sounded good to us. You got a lot of money. I was excited. Sounded good to me, But the things I teach now is because of the lessons that I've learned. And, my students have when I tell you far surpassed, I had the largest celebrated student this last year. She won $6 million in college scholarships, got into 100.
Two doctors at the same time? What's going on?
She's in a pre-college program. We call them sometimes 3-2s or 6-5-1s. And anyway, so she's got into an early entry pharmacy program. So she'll be earning her pharmacy degree as well as her undergraduate degree. Every single dime paid.
I already see her being her own pharmacy business owner, having her own pharmacy. I can already see that just based on what you said.
Absolutely. Mobile pharmacy. Y'all can look her up. Her name is Chase Matthews. So if you put in Chase Matthews and, $6 million or Chase Matthews and $1 Million Scholar, anything like that, she'll come up. She was on every single major outlet that you can imagine for weeks. Awesome. But, and that was understanding the differences between Chase and me, right? Like now I produce the Chases of the world, who said, you don't have to live any of my experiences. I've already done that for you.
Yeah.
And then, yes, to go back to your question, because I learned all of this through my Dr. Jeannie Marstall, who's amazing. She just turned 83 on the 5th of October. Still send her flowers, still send her Christmas gifts, still go and see her because she revolutionized my life. But I was able to pay it back student loans through scholarships because I just kept going through the process and learning, oh, wait, you not only have to earn scholarships, you could get paid to go to school. And again, knowing how my little nephew, and I'm trying to fight back tears, but just knowing that I have this lineage through my family was so determined for my sister and I to be educated folk, for us to, have a different life than they did. And I'm so thankful to my parents. I will never, ever, ever down them in any way. But knowing what my sister and I, our stories, to what my nephew has gone through, he will never, ever learn, never know debt. His education is paid in full, already done. And those are the things that we're able to train and teach and show people what is possible. And it's not, and Justin is, as you know, he is an extra special child.
Listen,
but he's ET, right?
he just brought so much joy to me. He brought so much joy to me. I'm just happy he's in the world and he exists, and he has a tribe that is cultivating his talents and just what he brings. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Adding to this conversation with the scholarship, people can use it for vocational as well, right? They don't have to necessarily go to school, college per se, but they can use it if they want to maybe be an electrician, a plumber, whatever vocational skills or institutions are out there, right?
So this is higher education. So if there is something that requires that you pay to learn this skill, there is money for that. And so that is vocational, that is technical, that is traditional 2-4, that's certification programs.
That's right.
If there is something that costs money, you don't need to pay out of pocket.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm going into the chat. Shout out to Marmac when you were talking about the free degree because of me. He said, you got bars, baby. You got bars.
Thank you.
Speaking of bars, I was also reading about the 3 A's that you attribute to assisting scholars get scholarships. And one is assistance, the other is analysis, and the third is accountability.
Absolutely.
Can you go into that, or how you assist scholars on getting scholarships under those 3 A's that you got bars?
Absolutely. So we have different programs, and that's what we do. So we help students to go to college for free through our programs, products, and presentations. So you may see a few products behind me. Boop, 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 boop. So these are our 2 of our books. 3 of our books are #1 bestsellers. So those are our products, and we have electronic products. But we also have programs. So we have memberships that are at different price points. And then we just started our courses. So excited about our courses. And they include office hours. And then we do presentations all over the world. So I have presented in, I can't even tell you now how many countries, all over the United States as well. We do CBOs, that's like community-based organizations, places of worship, libraries, colleges and universities, schools. So and people say, well, Rhea, how many people you come to? I will come to 1. Again, I have bars, right? I want 1 million folks to say they have a free degree because of me. I am not that person. People, and I'm thankful to the Lord for everything, but it doesn't matter if I was in Forbes or if I was in, Fort Valley newsletter. That doesn't matter to me. It's about making sure that people understand what's possible and giving them those nuggets, those jewels, so that they can just take one thing and run with it. But that's how our A's, we believe in A's and A's for students to be the optimal scholarship winner. Not the only scholarship winner, but the optimal scholarship winner. So we believe in A's and A's, and then we live by those A's and A's.
And I want to elaborate on even more, because I like the thing where you said with one of the A's is assistance. So basically you're there to assist them to not only just get the scholarship, but just make sure they're doing everything they need to be able to get it. And I think that's important, to have a level of mentorship, so I like that. And then the other one, you spoke about analysis, you said, that's one of the services where you're actually coaching them on essay writing, encouraging them to do internships, getting them involved in internships. So some people don't know where to go. So you can give them information and resources on internships and extracurricular activities. And that's how you get out and meet other people and get involved into whatever, you're interested in, getting your education in. So I really, really like that. I know you said that's the key to the scholarship application. And also finally, the third A, accountability. So not only do you offer all of these resources, but you actually follow up with the students. You communicate with them via text. I know you said during the pandemic you guys would get on video. So it doesn't just stop there. You continue to stay in the life of your scholars and make sure that they get through the process and continue on to be successful. So I just wanted to just let people know that it's just not a one stop, hand this to, give me this and I'll give you that, and you walk away. Like, there's more to it. And to me, it just shows that you care about the future and what happens later with these scholars. So I appreciate you for that as well.
Thank you. Yes, I love what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Mack is in the chat on YouTube. He says that this can be a great resource for our young brothers who don't aspire to go to college, but to obtain a CDL license.
Yes.
This is why it's just a great thing. And you didn't mention, but I want people to know that if they want to get more information, they can go to the website. And yes, so much more to get into, but I just want you guys to know where you can find more information, www.myscholarshipsolutions.com.
Yes.
You've been on Channel 8 News. They've highlighted you again. Forbes magazine, a lot of local magazines have highlighted you. And thank you for coming to my platform and sharing this knowledge with my viewers and listeners. I know they appreciate it as well as myself. So I appreciate that so much. I want to get into this Nevada Promise Scholarship.
Good. I got that down. So now I can check it off. Boom.
Boom. So this is a specific scholarship because I know there must be millions of them. I know I was reading, you said there's like billions of funds available that people don't utilize when it comes to scholarships.
Absolutely.
But you have this Nevada Promise Scholarship. Now, my biggest concern is, this current administration is attacking education, they're attacking federal funding. And I'm just wondering, is that still the case? Is there a lot of funding available?
Yeah, so there's $100 billion, that's with a B, $100 billion in scholarships that are available every single year. This is an annual amount. So let's even say that somehow, some way, 30 billion of that goes away. There's still 70 billion with a B available every year for students to apply for and to win. I don't think there's anyone in the world that has to pay for higher education. Again, we're talking about technical, vocational, traditional 2-4 certification program. Okay. So there is not a person in the world, I don't believe, that has to pay for a college education, for higher education. And so, yes, there has been some changes. It's coming up for 26, 27. So for the last about 5 years, the Pell Grant, which is income driven. So traditionally, if you make somewhere around $50,000 or less, you can be eligible for the Pell Grant. If you make more than that, it becomes a little bit, maybe a lot more difficult. But for the last 5 years or so, that grant has been around $7,500. It has dropped about 25%. Again, that didn't affect 25, 26, but 26, 27 and beyond, I don't know. It's been around $5,000. And really for years and years and years, that was about the amount. So I think it was because of pandemic and things that were going on, it was a little shaky that those Pell Grants dollars were increased.
So like for the Bezos scholarship, is that federal? Does he put that money, or that's just private? So that's, no need to worry about that.
Exactly. Dell is private, right? Okay. So there's monies that are definitely being provided to scholars, to students that are from private industry, and that has nothing to do with the federal government. So again, let's say that the feds drop and take out 30 billion, there is still 70 billion available through outside, we call them, or external scholarships, AKA they also are known as merit scholarships. So you may hear all of those kinds of terminologies, and that's it. I have a student I'm working with right now, and their family is very concerned about the federal dollars and, and then how that may affect, academic or internal money. It may affect that. So they're looking and saying, how much of an endowment do they have? And that might be something that students should look at. Okay, we're going to look at the endowment of the school so that I can make sure that if they're giving me this money institutionally, that I will be able to stay there. It'll be sustainable, even if something happens with the government. But for me, it's not an issue. Very honestly, many of the clients who I work with are completely ineligible for FAFSA called. which is the federal free application for student aid. And so they're
Okay.
ineligible for those Pell Grants. Sometimes they're ineligible for the loans that are available. And many times they're working with me because they want to avoid debt. So, so we aren't too much affected by that. But if you're a little bit concerned, do know that the grant did change a little bit. But again, to be able to fill that gap, there's tons and tons and tons of other ways, including this amazing something like a Nevada Promise Scholarship, which we have in our state. And then there's community college that's free in many, many states. So if we have a few minutes, I can talk about that. I don't know what our time is like.
Yes, listen. Yes, please elaborate on that as well.
Okay, so the Nevada Promise Scholarship, one of my favorite scholarships, y'all. But let me tell you, if you do not get this scholarship senior year by October 30th, so we have just a few little less than 2 weeks. But for Nevada residents, that's the thing. You have to be a Nevada resident. Okay, so you have to be a Nevada resident. And then there are 4 colleges in our state that you can attend, including College of Southern Nevada. We have Truckee Meadow College, Great Basin College, and Western Nevada College. All of those colleges, you can go totally free up to 3 years. 3 years of free education. I love it. Now, many of our states across the nation have something like a Nevada Promise. They may have different rules or regulations, but what you need to, again, throw into Google is free college, community college, or free college, probably state dollars, something like that. But if you are able to do that, you will find in your state who is supporting free community college. And it's been a wonderful gift to students. I mean, I have people who are top of their class valedictorian, but they're like, why should I go somewhere else when I know I can get this completely free of charge? And then I'll finish my last 2 years at another school. Now, some things with Nevada Promise, it is a traditional kind of 2-4 program, but at our 2-4 year schools, they have many technical or vocational programs. So you can use those monies to earn that type of education. And it is a wonderful scholarship. However, this is the caveat. I guess there's 2. 1, you have to apply by October 30th.
October 30th.
You have to be class of whatever. This year is class of 2026. And if you miss it, if you do not apply for this scholarship by October 30th, tell everyone. If you miss it, you can never get it again. It is only open to seniors. It is only open till October 30th. And once you pass that, I tell people all the time, I love you, mama, daddy, grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle. We all love you, but colleges and universities do not love you. So if you come on October 31st talking about, I just heard about this, or I forgot I fell asleep last night, they're not going to say, oh, baby, we understand. They don't. They do not care. And they will not give you any grace. I promise you. Because I've had students who I've worked with who refused to listen to me and did what I just told you. And the college was like, well, why couldn't they? So I thought that was nice they even asked. They're like, well, you can do an appeal, but we're pretty sure it's not going to go through because we don't understand why you had all these months and people like me telling you to do that. So you want to look that up. And I would dare to say that probably across most states, they have some similar due dates. I like to call them due dates and deadlines. So they have some deadline, again, due date that says probably by the fallish around this time, you need to have whatever paperwork in. But let me tell y'all, it's a 7-minute application. I say 7 minutes. Actually,
7 minutes.
It takes about 3 minutes to complete that. 3 minutes for a $40,000 scholarship. There is not a reason in the world that anyone should miss this money. There's no GPA, no income, no ethnic group, nothing like that. You have to apply and be class of 2026. As long as you feel that for our state, and I'm telling you, many states across the nation, the money is yours.
So you don't have to submit tax forms and receipts and pay stubs.
Name, email address, home address, and do you want to go to college? I think it asks.
Okay.
Oh, I tell people 7 minutes, but it is literally a 3-minute application.
3 minutes, y'all. Y'all hear that? Now, this is, again, specifically for those who want to go in Nevada, to go to college in Nevada. You have to be a student graduating in 2026.
That is correct.
So if you're a freshman, you can apply?
If you're incoming freshman. So you have to be, so it's only high school seniors, class of 2026.
Yes. Okay. And you said this covers the 3 year mark. The scholarship covers 3 years of your tuition.
Yep.
Wow.
Totally free of charge. No, you don't have any bill. It's actually called a fill the gap. So they have, if you have other money, if you have Pell, if you have things like that, then this scholarship will come in and fill that gap. But if you're a student who's ineligible for something like Pell, they're going to fill the whole gap. It's actually called, that's the terminology, is a fill the gap scholarship. So whatever bill you have left over, Nevada Promise will come in and pay the rest of it. So if that's the full bill, if it's part of the bill, if it's incredible. I have one better than that, but it's really incredible. The best way I love for high school students to go to high school is to actually go to college. That's something called dual enrollment. Dual enrollment, again, is $0 But what's the beauty of dual enrollment is that we have to be in high school, right? We're in a country where it is illegal for our students to be out of school, right? If parents are doing that, that is abuse, right? It's educational abuse, but it is abuse. So you have to go to high school in our country. Right? So for me, why wouldn't someone go to high school and go to college at the same time? Because they already have to be there. So I call them the money classes. So you're able to take English, math, history, science. You can take your languages and art. But students, it's a built-in scholarship. When you do dual enrollment, and I love, again, Nevada Promise. There's nothing wrong with it. I love it. But for me, why wouldn't a student go in and take all of their classes, since they have to be in high school already, go to college, earn a degree? By the time you're finished with high school, you're going in as a junior in college, or you're finished, you go and start your career because you've gone through welding, or you've gone through HVAC, or you've gone through tech, whatever. You've already done that. You've done your CNA, whatever you want to do, you're finished with that. So either you're going into the work field at 18, or you're going into a college program as a junior at 18. Someone else has already paid your education. You had to get your high school diploma. So I have gone to student after student's college graduation before their high school graduation. Again, this should not be novel. This should not be something that we're all hearing about and thinking about. And
my question is, how do you do that? Because I thought you had to have a diploma to get into college.
Because you're dually enrolled. That's what it's called. So since they're dually enrolled,
they believe you're gonna graduate.
You finish college first. You finish college first.
Wow. and how many people don't know about that? And so there's scholarships in place where you can go ahead and start your dual education, get it out the way. I mean, start off. I mean, wow. I mean, that's great. To come out of
every high school has this program. So I like for students to go to a dual enrollment high school, but in all actuality, every high school in the United States has dual enrollment. They may call it early college where you're from. They may call it dual credit. It's all the same. It means that when you take English 101, you also get credit for English 11. So you've knocked out your high school class and your college class on somebody else's dime. You already have to be there. Who wouldn't go to college for free while they were in high school? It's because
it sounds so easy. Because you say, because now when stuff sounds almost too good to be true, I have to clarify, make sure I hear it right. Because sometimes you can just hear what you want to hear. But so you're saying that being in this one class can count for 2 courses.
It's called being dually.
It's not like you got to go to 2 different classes, one college course and one high school course. And that's all because you enrolled in dual
enrollment.
Wow.
Now there are things called, what you just mentioned, they're called co-enrollment. So there are co-enrollment programs, which means what you said. You have to take English 11, for example, and you have to take English 101.
Okay.
But I would do dual enrollment so that you take that one class and it applies to 2 things. And so that's, to me, I love, again, free Nevada Promise. I love free community college because there's students who unfortunately have never heard this from me before. So they go and take English 11 and 12 and 9 and 10, and then they find out they can go to college for free, which is great. But why wouldn't someone do that? Now, I have told you, people have said, oh my goodness, my baby is a cheerleader and a football player. And what about prom and homecoming? And I tell them, I promise you, I will have somebody take your baby to homecoming if their school does not have it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right? I've never had that situation. Every dual enrollment school has it, or again, people are doing this in their high schools. It's because they do not understand. They do not know. And the one thing I will tell you, I've never had anyone say that they wish they did not do dual enrollment. But the biggest regret, anytime I do a student panel, anytime I do anything, students, I'll say, what's the one thing you wish you had listened to me on? And they'll come back and say, we wish we had done a dual enrollment program. Why? Because
they have to lose. It doesn't cost you anything.
So what happens is you just finished government, for example, and then 6 months later, and some of my students, I don't care if they're paying out of pocket, out of savings, or out of scholarships, 6 months later, they have to take political science, or they have to take, history 101. They're like, I just did that. Exactly. That's why I was trying to get you to, okay. So that's the one thing. That's the one thing people say. The number one thing I should say. There's two things people say they wish had listened to me on. The number one thing is they wish they had done dual. The second thing is they wish they had waited till they pledged. Because I'll tell them, you can pledge. You can be whatever me you want to be. Just wait. Because it always affects grades, everything, because it's so much of a commitment. So they'll say, I'm happy to be a part of whatever fraternity and sorority, but they wish they had I just say, just wait till junior year, get acclimated, just get your feet wet a little bit. And then you can go and enjoy your brains it'll be all good. So those are the two things. But yeah, dual enrollment. Like I said, I love Nevada Promise. Do it, especially if we have seniors, like it's too late-ish for dual enrollment. But if you have a 9th, a 10th, a 7-year-old, or whomever, you should mark and clock this and make sure that your babies, if they don't go to a dual enrollment high school, minimally take dual enrollment at their high school.
I'm definitely going to be spreading the word and encouraging people that are watching now and listening to share this video, share this information with people because I think a lot of us did not know anything about this. And so I'm like just amazed. I'm like, really? You get more bang for your buck? You mean I get a 2 for 1? And it doesn't cost me anything?
And it don't cost. So it's no bang for your buck. All you're doing is stacking money.
I would say for your time. Basically, that's your buck because you just got to show up and you're going to get a 2 for.
It's a built-in scholarship. And so I have a student right now. She just did her picture, her first year picture, for first, of the, I guess, school year picture. And it was like graduating senior. And everybody is commenting on my student or her mom's Instagram saying, wait, did she just get there? And her mom's writing back and saying,
I was saying, she would be making it.
She just got there. But because she did dual enrollment, she's done. She's 19. She'll have 2 degrees.
So when you hear about these 15-year-olds graduating now, you know what I'm saying? Now it's just all adding up because they know all of the ways to get in and around, wasting a lot of time. But that's what it sounds like. A lot of people are wasting time. Yeah. And if you think about a lot of tax dollars, I mean, why aren't they letting parents and kids know about this? You got to go to every school. You got to go to all the schools here in Clark County. Just show up and start telling these kids about this lady.
I am spreading the word the best I can. Like I said, and I love Nevada Promise. It's a wonderful program. But this to me is my favorite way for students to go to high school is to go to college. And since you can do that for free or very, very, very close to it. Sometimes there's a $50 charge for a book, I've heard. Very rare. But even with that, there's funding to help to support that. But for all intents and purposes, it is completely a free education, a free degree. And you can do it at the same time that you already have to be there, which is in high school. So again, for those who are saying, I don't know if the college thing is for me, go ahead and get whatever technical or vocational, whatever you want, and then go start your life. Go start making your, 6 figures. You can do that as a welder, right? But let somebody else pay for that, and you have to be there anyway. So
and you don't have to worry about student loan debt. So you're saying this is a one-time shot. So if you're a freshman and you said, I'll just wait till next year, this program is not going to be offered again, is what you're saying?
Great question. So dual enrollment starts in junior year. In our state especially, there are wonderful states like Illinois where you can actually start in freshman year on this program. So people are ending up with bachelor's degrees and starting as teachers and starting as nurses or whatever at the age of 18 because they've done college and high school at the same time. Okay. But in the state of Nevada, and I am working on legislation for this because I think, why not?
Listen.
But right now you have to be a junior to enroll fully in a dual enrollment. Okay. So you can do junior year, you can do senior year. That's not a problem, but for a senior who's right now would be a little bit tough to get into.
So for a junior, Do it now. So will it be next year for those who may be freshmen or sophomore that'll be turning juniors? Will this program be available for those who will be juniors next year?
Absolutely. Talk to
Okay.
your counselor. Of course, you guys know I'm here. You can call me. You
Yes.
have my social right there. I actually, people ask, like, you really answer your phone? I do. You really answer your messages? I do. I have people who work for me, but I actually, like, when they say, Rhea, have a call, I actually answer my calls. I call people back. I answer my own DMs. So, yes. So, if you're like, I don't understand this or I need more clarity, it's fine. It's also in my book. I know it's a little bit of a shameless plug, but it's also here.
That's
It
the
breaks
book.
it all down.
That's the 5 steps. Can you read that aloud, please? I had it here on my chart, and I don't.
Nice. So
The
this is
5
it.
easy steps to
Mhm.
A.
Yep. Free degree.
Yes.
So this is the
So you
scholarship
can get that
Dr.
on the
Blue.
website as well.
It's a
So
nice, it's a wonderful workbook curriculum.
does it have work? Is it a workbook? It's
It
just
is.
instructions.
Nope. It's
Yeah.
instructional. And then we say, now let's fill the
Yeah.
prescription. Tons and tons of spaces. We actually even have it in the back for you. So when you run out, or if you run out of that, we have all of this extra for you to do from every chapter. So this is how I've helped people. I know I said 95 million, but we are up to $200 million in scholarships.
Yeah, because the 95 was back in 2021.
Mhm.
So yeah, I knew the number was up.
We're at 200 million. We're at 200 million, and
Wow.
it's been all through that book. I told somebody the other day, I said, I would love to work with you. You can work with me. I said, but if you do every single thing that I said in here, your student will get paid to go to school. People should be on salary. There's not a reason that someone just earns scholarships. They can be paid to go to school. Again, this should not be novel. This should not just be Rhea Watson's clients and friends and family. This is anyone, anywhere in the world. So why not you? You know, why not you?
And it's a great gift for those who are trying to think of what to get these high school students graduating, even a prom gift. I know it might not sound like something that they might want, but they'll thank you later.
They will absolutely thank you later.
To your parents and students, because this is education. I mean, listen, I didn't have resources like this growing up, you know. I didn't have these resources. And so it's great. So I know it's going to be at the Pearson Community Center. So let me just go ahead and explain to people what's happening next Saturday. I'll also post it on my socials as well. Yes. It's a celebration of Nevada Day and October Dropout Prevention Month. This is in celebration of that. Dr. Rhea is gearing up for her next event. It's called Scholarship Power. The event is being held at Pearson Community Center in North Las Vegas, near the historic West Side, where the college drop rates are astronomical. As a way to support our Vegas community, Dr. Rhea is teaching students how to apply for our Nevada Promise Scholarship during her Scholarship Doctor live session at the fair and conference. So there's going to be giveaways, you guys. There's going to be speakers. There's going to be people. Yeah, she's one of the speakers. There's going to be a host of resources and information. Is it free entry? Do you have to register?
Awesome. So yes, it is free of charge to attend. The registration is right there with that wonderful QR. This is a QR for our website, and there's a pop-up there. So we have a phone number if you need it a little bit more traditional. So we have all kinds of avenues and ways for you to be able to register, but it is completely free of charge. We give away cash scholarships, AirPods, laptops, Beats. We've done that for years. This is actually, we started in 2021, but we do it biannually. It's twice a year in the fall and the spring. So this is our 9th college career fair and conference.
Wow.
So we want you there. And we do not, again, I've had everyone from lap babies to the eldest person in the room. As long as you're a student and we don't ask for cards and information, we're believing if you say you're a student or you're going to be a student, you're a student, you can be in that drawing and it's available for you. You just have to be present to win. And we will be going through Nevada Promise Scholarship, but I have some other scholarships because right now I have 4th and 5th graders who are registered. So we'll have scholarships now, we know, for elementary, middle, high, and college grad. So no matter where you are in your educational journey, you can also be applying for a scholarship live during our Scholarship Doctor Live.
October 25th, that's Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The address is 1625 West Cary Avenue. Again, that's in North Las Vegas, you guys. So listen, this is an opportunity to meet Dr. Rhea, meet others, win maybe some AirPods and some other things. Sometimes, you know, different prizes, meet with college recruiters. Okay. And business owners. And again, there's going to be a student panel. Some exciting speakers, a list of scholarships, as well as, it's centered around the Nevada Promise Scholarship. But this is definitely an opportunity that I would suggest not to miss, especially if you have a junior in high school, to go ahead and get help. Because I think that's one of the things that deter a lot of parents from even engaging in the whole scholarship process. And that's another thing I like about your website, is because even on your website, you give a calendar of the testing, when the college testing, I'm forgetting the different tests.
ACT.
I've been out of college for a while.
I
mean, high school. I didn't go all the way to college. So you give a list of those things and different resources to apply and testing, and that's what I love about the websites. I think it's very resourceful, and I'm just appreciative of you using your gifts to share with others. It's a blessing. It is. And you guys, you can also follow her on she's on TikTok. She's also on, we call it Twitter still. How Black people, we stay with the original name. We call Coke, we call Pepsi Coke, or whatever, the other way around. We give it a name, and that's the name. So Twitter, that's it. Okay, you know what we're talking about. A Scholarship DR. She's on Facebook and YouTube. You got a TEDx talk.
I do.
And then you're on LinkedIn as well, right?
I am, and Instagram. Yes.
Instagram, right? Instagram. So so I'm just so delighted that you exist.
Oh,
I just learned. I mean, it's just amazing what we don't know. And that's why it's important to just network. I want to thank your sister for reaching out to me and just even, considering my platform, because this is what I like to do, share a wealth of information with people and resources so that they know what's out there at least and do with it what they may. And so I just appreciate that so much. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else you want to add or you want to say?
Yes. So I have one more scholarship that I want to give out. This scholarship is open to anyone from birth to age 18. So it's 18 and under. So if you are 18 and under, including outside of the womb.
Okay. You are already outside.
This scholarship is for you. It is by the Debbie Dreams Foundation. And, just with us talking about what's going on with patriotic, what's it called? Patriotic? No, the cancer.
Oh, pancreatic.
Pancreatic. Thank you.
Pancreatic. I was trying to say pancreatic. I still can't say it. Anyway.
Thank you for helping me.
We said it the first time we got it.
This is an organization that does stomach cancer. So Debbie Dream Foundation is, and so as long as someone is 18 and under, it is a drawing contest. And so they are looking for those to talk about their dream in regard to how cancer is eliminated. And so I think that was like really fitting when you were talking about that and the importance of awareness. But so it's a drawing contest. So, sometimes people ask, how can little babies do that? Because they're normally through photos and artwork and things like that. They don't have to write an essay necessarily, or they're being video recorded. And those are the kinds of ways that they can apply. So this is Debbie's Dream, 18 and under. It's due October 30th again. So please apply. But we will be going over this one as well. We'll have some availability for art and for people to apply on the 25th. So if you don't get to it before then, your child or you, if you're listening, hey, 18 and under, you can apply for Debbie's Dream.
And did you mention, do you have to be a resident of Nevada for this Nevada Promise?
It's an international competition.
International. Okay, I just want to be sure.
Thank you for that.
Awesome. October 25th, next Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Pearson Community Center. You can get help with filling out an application, and I'm understanding that it might just take you 7 minutes.
Really? We gonna go.
Because in my mind, it's paperwork. I feel like it's like getting a mortgage loan. They need to know your blood type, and your lineage. All kind of things. So this is great. This is perfect.
Please spread the word. We love to have you guys. We have a good time. The 3 hours goes by really quickly. It is drop in, drop out, so you don't have to stay the full time. I'm doing sessions twice during that time. They're short sessions. Obviously, it's only 3 hours, the whole event. But if you're not available in the morning, you come in the afternoon, you'll get me. And our student panel is right in the middle of the day. So again, the same thing. If people can't come earlier, if they come later, they should be able to be, and it's a great time. And the students are amazing. And we do
Perfect.
military, it's entrepreneurship, it's social media. Like, it's not just 2-4 years. So please don't think like that. Although we have colleges and universities from across the nation, we have other folks who are saying we can also help you to go to college for free if you want to do that and you want to use a different pathway. So come and visit y'all. It's a good time. We'll feed you. It's not like real lunch and dinner, but you know, the kids love the Pop-Tarts.
Oh, yeah,
She told me go feed you. So
I would have said that first. We think how food. Look,
we feed you. We give away good stuff. People win cash all the time. They win our laptops all the time. It's always a blessing when I really see a kid who actually needed it. I mean, it doesn't matter who wins it, but you know, when those children are like, I'm trying to go to school, I'm trying to do this thing now in my life, and I haven't had that technology. So so it's important to us to make sure that we're giving back. So y'all come and join us. If you know somebody in Vegas, you're not from here, please share the information. But I'll talk to you for free. So get on my website.
Bars.
I'll talk to you for
free. Who talking like that? You know. That's dope. But listen, I got to shout out my team, and I appreciate you again. Don't go anywhere, but I'm going to be right back, and we go ahead and shout out my team again. We got Dr. Rhea here next Saturday, October 25th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. She's going to talk to you for free at the Pearson Center. You bring your kids, especially your junior. Deadline's October 30th to apply for this Nevada Promise Scholarship. You're going to get help. 7 minutes, okay? All right. Thank you so much. Hang tight, okay?
Okay.
Thank you again all for tuning in, watching In Your Ear Radio. You know, I love and appreciate y'all. So I got to go ahead and get in my applause for you all. You know how we do up in here. And before I forget, next Saturday we'll be at 7 p.m. We'll air our After Dark. So I'll be with my Day One crew. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you all, but it'll be at 7 p.m. After Dark. You know how we do. We talk about some stuff that matters and some stuff that don't. And we have a great time with our libations. So I hope that you will join us next Saturday, 7 p.m. After Dark, In Your Ear Radio. I love you and respect. Talk to you later.